What is up, team? Welcome back to the Red Storm Rap Reaction Podcast. I'm Pat Kane, and St. John sneaks away, just narrowly escapes with a 1 point victory over North Texas in the opening round of the Charleston Classic. My good friend Cole is not here today because he's down there, I'm sure, cheering his ass off and a few beers deep, rooting him on. And I'm glad that all those people who made that trip, and there was plenty of them from the looks of it on TV, a loud contingent of St. John's fans down there rooting them on, and they needed it. And I'm glad those guys got to see a win, guys or girls got to see a win. And I'm glad for the St. John's team for pulling it out, as ugly as it may have been. There's some games you just have to win, and this is one of them. If you watch this game, you know it was ugly. It wasn't pretty, and we had more than a few chances to tuck that game away and win, and then it looked like we were going to run out of chances to sneak away with a victory, and we somehow managed to do that, thanks in large part to Joel Soriano's solid play all around. Another double-double, two huge free throws to take the lead at the end. Of course, he missed those two at the end. The second one was not as important as the first, but when we needed him to make those two to take the lead and get over the hump, he did. He also had his usual big rebounding numbers and 5 blocks on the game, so a big impact from him defensively. And that three he hit in the second half kind of kick-started St. John's momentum. It looked like they were perhaps going to be able to sneak away quite easily, but a couple poor decisions, couple bad shots, couple mishaps on the defensive end, and North Florida quickly erased an 11-point lead, and ended up taking the lead with a little over a minute left. Was this a step in the right direction overall in terms of how the team played? I don't think we played any better than we played against Michigan, perhaps in some areas. The defensive effort was there, but this was a different team than Michigan was. Not exactly an offensive juggernaut, but still some quality athletes out there. I'd say North Florida did outplay us in some aspects and moving the basketball better. They executed in that second half to come back when it looked like they might fold. That was pretty impressive, but to sneak away with a win against a team that had the second longest running streak in the country, had an NIT championship banner from last year, and albeit with a much different team and a new coach, the program has had some success. So not a meaningless win by any stretch. Their net numbers look good. We'll see if they'll hold up. But most importantly, it gives us excitement, momentum, positive uh, momentum going in the right direction, and a chance to move forward in this tournament, get a win against either Dayton or LSU tomorrow, and then hopefully get a shot at Houston, which is going to be a much needed game in terms of our out of conference resume. Um, Still some stuff to work through, and it did not look pretty. These guys look like a team that has not played together much, and it looks like a group of guys who are still acclimating to different roles. And in this process of it doesn't look clean. It doesn't look neat. Um, Dennis Jenkins had a up and down game. There was times when he looked great. There was times when he looked awful. His decision making to me has been suspect, but I will say there has been times where it looked like, for stretches, he was the only one who I could obviously tell um, wanted it more than everybody else and had a motor. And he's got to find that balance between having that motor and being aggressive, and then also being a floor general, and also knowing when a good shot or what a good shot and an okay shot and a bad shot is, and how to make sure his other four guys out there are feeling the love and feeling like they're part of the process. And I'd like to see him get rid of the ball a little bit quicker and to get Dingle going, and some of that is on Dingle. A lot of it is on Dingle, and we'll get to him more. And there was a few 2 minute stretches today where I thought he looked more like the guy I expected to see, being aggressive with the basketball. But for the large part, he was absent, and that's on the boards. That's as a playmaker. That's as a defender, and it's as a scorer. And I didn't think that last part there as a scorer would be such a missing part to his game so far. But he did miss the two exhibition games, and he is another guy, almost him more so than anyone else, who's got to get used to a different system, both offensive structure and usage. But I'm not worried about. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I think I was expecting to see more from him and led them so far. And tonight they combined for 6 points, and they played both over 30 minutes. So I'd be lying if I didn't say I expected more. I did expect more. And I'm not sure we'll see him get to 16 or 17 point per game, guys, but I do think they will become accustomed to how to play, and will become accustomed to playing together more. And Jenkins will have to, give up some of that usage and that rock more, and Dingo will have to get going, because right now we are really struggling to get easy baskets. And I think a lot of that is guys like Taylor and Ledlam aren't exactly create for themselves with help defenders on them, guys. You know, they create when they have a lane, or in Ledlam's case, when he can overpower somebody. But when there's help defense and there's someone sitting there on the nail or on the elbow waiting for that drive, they can't get that second guy by him. We don't have a guard who's quick enough in tight spaces right now to really live in that pain, and that's Jenkins included. And Dingle might not be the super fast little guard like we saw in Michigan, but he can be a guy who can finish inside the paint when getting in there. And you know, the first 20 minutes tonight, I was asking myself, is this going to be the Dingle we see all year? A guy who, if he's not getting his points, isn't contributing. And that's, you know, just in terms of the archetype of players out there, that's one of my least favorite types. I want a guy who, if his shots aren't falling, can still impact a basketball game. And through a few games, Dingle hasn't shown me that yet, and I'm really hoping he does, because he's athletic, he's strong, he's got a big body. We know he's smart. So hopefully those other pieces of his game will round into form, and we can see him getting going better as a scorer. In the first half, when he got his first rebound, he immediately had a nice assist up to the court to Jenkins, and on a one possession, he doubled his attributes in the other areas of scoring. And South Florida or North Texas was South Florida, North Texas, whatever. They're both green. North Florida was forced to call a timeout. So I'm hoping Pitino is getting on him to be an impact player in other areas. I think that's probably the case, and I'm not really worried about these guys yet because, like I said, we got away with this win here. We can build on it and learn a lesson, a victory. You know, if we go out tomorrow night and get beat badly by either Dayton or LSU, then it's time to have another conversation about perhaps the talent level on this team. But you know, North Texas is a really good defensive team, has been a really good defensive program. So not unexpected that we struggle a little bit offensively, being it's still early, being we have a whole bunch of new pieces, and you know, we didn't exactly light it up the other night against Michigan either. But you know, we live to see another day. It's always best to learn these lessons if possible in a victory. And it didn't look like that was going to be the case going down late. And somehow we figured out the way to do that. And that's, you know, part of growing as a program is winning games you're supposed to and figuring out ways to win late in games. Without further ado, you know, enough of my dumb looking face up here all by itself. Let's pull up the stats. Let's go team by team comparison to start. Okay. Player of the game, Joel. He did not lead us in scoring. That would be Jenkins, but Joel in only 5 field goal attempts plus a handful of free throws. Much too little, if you ask me. I know that, you know, it's not easy when the game plan is obviously to crowd him inside, but 5 field goal attempts for him, we need to double that. 11 points, 12 rebounds, 5 blocks. Take that, Cole. Cole last week was talking all this crap about how he's not a shot blocker, can't control the rim. You hear that, Cole? All right, I hope he blocks your entrance to the bar later tonight in Charleston. Team comparison: St. John's and North Florida. Each team shooting less than 35% from the field. An ugly day offensively. I hope none of our St. John's faithful took the over, although I know one of our good buddies, Monty on Red Fans, did say he did that, but he's usually pretty good with the sharps, so we'll give him one there. 3-point field goal percentage even worse, 32% for North Florida, 26% for St. John's, only 6 for 23. Soriano hit a big one. Naheem hit a big one in the second half, but we just never really got going. Jenkins hit a few tough ones. Taylor hit one to start the game. 58% from the free throw line. Again, 3 games in, and we have not been impressive from the free throw line. That's 2 games in a row, less than 60%. 15 turnovers, not great, obviously, but we did force 15 ourselves. North Florida did do a better job converting 19 of those 19 points off those 15 turnovers to only our 14 points. We got out rebounded. Each team did pretty well in the offensive rebounding glass. Second chance points, they got the advantage. Bench points, they got the advantage. It looks like where we really got the advantage was assists, sharing the ball, you know, for easy baskets. Although I thought their ball movement was better than us, we were doing more of our work off the dribble. But you know, if you look at these comparisons, it looks like St. John's was lucky to come away with a victory. And for the most part, they had a lead the whole time. In North Florida took a lead at the very end, but St. John's was able to be resilient and come out with the win. Let's take a look at the box score. Like I said, Jenkins led us 17 points, but on 18 shots, a very inefficient night. 2 for 8 from 3, 3 for 4 from the free throw line. He did have 5 rebounds and 3 assists, but also 5 turnovers. He has been far too lackadaisical with the basketball, far too ball dominant as well. But I will give him credit for the other things he does. He's active. He's hustling like crazy. He's emotional. I just hope he can find a balance as the season goes on and become more of a floor general. Dingle, only 2 points on 3 shots, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 turnovers. So combined, our starting backcourt had 5 assists to 8 turnovers. Not a ratio you really want to see out there. Led them 4 points on 2 for 7 shooting. Again, struggled going to the rim, couldn't finish amongst the trees. He is working hard out there. He's a bruiser. He was on the floor as much as anybody. But for us to reach our ceiling, he's got to be able to be, that Justin Brownlee-esque, 11 to 13, sometimes more points per game in that high post to low post area and be a physical presence. I really think that'll be a big part of us reaching our ceiling is him becoming that player, and hopefully he figures it out. Soriano, our rock in the middle, 11 points, 12 rebounds. Did have 5 blocks, 4 for 6 from the free throw line, hit that big three, and overall was our best player. And, from the scouting report that North Florida, oh my God, North Texas had out there. Did North Texas exist 7 years ago? I feel like they came out of nowhere. That scouting report, you could tell the other team was taking Soriano seriously, and everything was circled around him, and bodies on him on the boards, bodies on him when he catches the ball, et cetera, et cetera. Um, Glenn Taylor Jr., pretty good all around game. Missed a handful of threes. Then he stopped taking a few of them. Did miss a bunny off a really good Euro step finish drive take in the first half. Also had a big time tough finish in traffic on the baseline to take a 4 point lead late, which I thought was going to be kind of the basket to seal it. Didn't end up being that, but it was huge. Did foul out. Really good defender, really good role player. I think he fits great as like the fifth best player on the court, assuming all four other guys are playing really well. I think Lewis has a little more upside as an offensive player, but I think Taylor's right there with anybody on the team defensively, and I think we'll see plenty of both those guys, or plenty of those guys playing together at the 3-4. Really looking forward to see Lewis back there. As you guys know, when I saw the open practice, I thought he was the best player on the court. And I think we're missing that guy who can facilitate from the center of the floor, make 1 or 2 dribbles from that high post, get into the paint, need to finish or distribute, make plays for other guys. And hopefully that will free up things for Jenkins not to be so ball dominant and for Dingle to find his way to get more looks. Really can't hurt at this point. It's another really big athletic body and a guy who's proven to be a pretty good scorer, defender, all around guy. Aline, didn't get in until the first, I think 5 minute mark in the first half. I was wondering if he wasn't playing. It was a little bit strange. He goes unnoticed. He doesn't make mistakes, but he hit a big shot, plays good defense. Not a ball handler, not a distributor, but a good all around piece and a guy who's going to be crucial to close out games. When Big East play. Doesn't make mistakes, can hit threes, can defend. He's been in college now. This is his 5th year. He's seen just about anything. So an invaluable piece to have. Today, he didn't make the biggest contributions, but a big three and some good defense. Wiltshire, I thought Simeon Wiltshire looked great in the first half. He's energetic. He's eager to be out there. He's flying around. He's more so in control today than I thought in the previous 2 games. And the one shot attempt he had looked pure. Caught a nice three and rhythm went up without hesitation and buried it. And I really wanted to see more of him tonight. I was surprised we didn't see more of him tonight. I think, not only were the guys ahead of him not playing well, but he looked like he had it. It looked like he wasn't nervous and he hit that one shot. So, hopefully, with these back-to-back games tomorrow, it'll give him a chance to perhaps get some more run in that first half early, and hopefully he continues his good play and we can reward him with some minutes in the second half. I do have to say, I loved seeing in the second half when St. John's was making a few runs. I loved seeing Simeon Wilcher up on the bench cheering as loud as anybody, really into the basketball game. He was not down. He was not, scouring. He was not upset visibly about not being in the game. I'm sure he wished he was out there, but he was cheering like a madman, and to see that was refreshing. And pretty much all the guys on the bench were doing that. But a freshman, highly regarded guard. You just want to make sure he doesn't get down early for not getting big minutes, and it seems like he's really taking it the right way. And can't wait to see him, more in the court as we get going. Zuby, nothing great out there. There was a stretch, maybe 3 minutes in the first half, where we had a few baskets inside from Zuby and Drissa, kind of like, the Bash Bros from Mighty Ducks days coming in and mix things up in the paint. But if they're not making plays like that in a physical nature inside the paint, it's kind of hard to envision them making many positive impacts over long stretches. But if they're physical and they're active on the boards and they set solid screens and they're good enough defensively to hold their own, then they can be useful players in those backup roles. And Zuby has got a little potential as he gets more comfortable physically to perhaps be more than that. But we're going to really need our starting front court to stay healthy and to stay out of foul trouble, and for Lewis to be a big part of that as well. Conway, not much out there today. The 1 3 he took looked a little rushed, and it was missed pretty far left. Didn't look like it had any shot at going in right when it left his hands. But I like the way he looked against Michigan. Rick seems to trust him, goes to him early. We'll see how he develops as the season goes on. And Drissa, like I said, had a one big basket, tough basket inside. Other than that, not much else. But he does get on the floor. He does hustle his ass off. So I always appreciate him getting a chance to make a positive impact every once in a while. But we really can't be relying on him. So yeah, St. John's plays tomorrow, Friday, 2 or 2:30. I should know that, either against Dayton or LSU, with a chance to go to the finals in the Charleston Classic, which would be Sunday night. Really good opportunity here. Escape that loss in the first round. Would have really sucked being on the losers bracket for the next two games. Gives us a chance to feel like we're in a tournament, to feel like we got to prepare. Could be worthwhile come Big East and NCAA, hopefully, tournament later in the year. But we got a lot to prove till we get down there, so I don't want to put the cart ahead of the horse. For Cole Latshaw, this has been Pat Kane, the Red Storm Rapid Reaction Podcast. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.